Hi, my name's Scott. I'm from Aquatic Source, here today showing you guys how to properly clean Bex's probes. First thing you're going to want to do before you even touch the probe is you're going to want to make sure that your flow cell is off. There's no water flow going through the flow cell. Once you confirm that you have no pressure or no flow going through the flow cell, your probe should be screwed in at the top. You're going to first disconnect the probe from the controller, from the BNC connector, right here. Disconnect that. Scratch that off. Take two. Take two. See, I was prepared to show them how to clean a fucking CP1 probe. All right.
Okay,
all right.
You take over.
Yeah. All right. You ready?
Run it.
Hi, my name's Scott from Aquatic Source. I'm here to show you how to properly clean a probe with a Bex's controller and or any other controllers out there. First thing you want to do before you even touch anything is you want to unplug your controller. Turn the power off to the controller. Then you want to be sure that you shut the you want to isolate the flow cell and be sure you have no water flow going through the flow cell. Once you confirm that the flow cell has no water or no pressure in it and your controller is turned off, you then want to disconnect your probes from your controller at the BNC connector. Disconnect the probe, and then the probe should be screwed in at the top of the flow cell like this. You're going to unthread the probe. Be careful that you don't bend the tip of the probe because you can fracture the eye of the probe, and at that point you'll need a new probe. So once the probe is out of the flow cell, I'll unscrew the cap just to kind of show you. You're going to have the eye of the probe right there. All right. You're going to have one cup with a mixture of Dawn dish soap and water, and you're going to have another cup with an acidic solution such as a diluted acid. All right. And I'll tell you what we need the acid for after I explain what the importance of using a dish soap first. All right. So you're going to grab a soft bristle toothbrush, and once you dip your probe into the soapy water, swish it around a little bit, dip your toothbrush into the water, you're going to gently brush the eye of the probe. Once you've brushed the eye of the probe, you don't scrub it. You don't use a scrubbing pad on it because you do not want to scratch that probe. You scratch the eye of that probe, it's like looking through glasses that have a bunch of scratches in them, and the probe will not properly read the chemical in the water, and you will find a fluctuation in your chemicals. So once you've cleaned the probe with Dawn dish soap, you want to rinse the probe off. Once you rinse the probe off, you then want to dip it into the acid solution. Okay? Dip it in the acid solution for a couple seconds, shake it off, rinse it off, be sure you have no acid left on the probe, and then you're going to reinsert the probe into the flow cell. But before you put the probe into the flow cell, you want to shake it down to be sure that the gel inside the probe is at the tip where it needs to be. All right. Once you've done that, you want to make sure you have sealant tape on the threads of the probe. Reinsert the probe into the flow cell. Reconnect your BNC connector. Leave your controller off for approximately 1 to 2 hours. Let the probe acclimate to the water and settle down. If you do not let the probe adjust to what's in the water, your controller will be all over the place, and you will find that you will overfeed or underfeed chemicals into the pool, and you will have nothing but issues. The importance of the soapy water is a degreaser. It takes the oils and the grease off the probe. Once you have done that, what's left on the probe is minerals. And that's what the acid does. The acid will actually remove the minerals off the eye of the probe. And it actually shocks the probe. Kind of brings it back to life a little bit for you. And then you rinse it off, you put it back on, wait a couple hours with your controller off, turn everything back on. Before you let anything to start feeding, you need to test your water and make sure your controller is properly calibrated. Thank you. This is Scott from Aquatic Source.